pull open the door of the dryer. I hear you breathing.
So Christine and I are here live on Amazon. I'm D. Scott Smith. We are going to have fun talking about thriving in your empty nest. This is a comprehensive guide. Hey, it is an opportunity. When the children move out, you've got your opportunity to learn, to expand, to grow, and to thrive. And that's what we're all about. We are here to help you with tips, tricks, books, products, things that you need to know to be successful as you move into and thrive in your empty nest. Welcome to our Amazon Live show. All right, and with that, we are live on Amazon, and let's get the right setup here. There we go.
Hello, Amazon people. Welcome to our home.
Yay!
If you've ever been on here before, you'll say, wait a minute, did he switch to a different office? Yeah. Well, no, he just switched his desk to the other side of the office, which I think is a great idea. You've got natural light on your face and you can look out over and see what's happening way over. I don't know how many yards that is, but it takes a while for me to walk when I'm walking the dog.
It's nice to have a view out. You know, I had my back to the windows, which was great, and I didn't have anything in front of the windows. I had my desk there, and I thought that was the right arrangement. And then the backlight was terrible. I was just having some terrible. I looked like I was in
the Earth is tilted again. It wasn't tilted during the summer, but it is tilted now. And so instead of light coming down past the windows, it's coming through, and it's making you have that effect on movies where it's the glow. Oh my goodness, he's drifting back into some sort of
anyone
alien spaceship.
Anyone that wants to do video, whether it's for business or just doing FaceTime with your family, get the light in the front. The light in the back is just tough. It is just tough. So let's see. We got some guests. There's Maria. Hello, Maria.
Well, hi, Maria.
So
I have seen that face before.
Can you guys hear each other? Yes, we can hear each other.
Yeah. Can I hear my husband?
Yep.
Yeah. I think I asked her once if she knew Matt Rouse. You know, like as if. That was the only Rouse that I knew on LinkedIn.
And Russ Hedge says, hey. And
Hi, Russ.
Woot, woot. Hey, just to give everybody woot woot. I love woot woot, and it is a contraction. It comes from the Dungeons and Dragons folks. And speaking of Matt Rouse, he is a big Dungeons and Dragons person.
Not a surprise.
Yep. And woot came as a contraction from the gamers playing Dungeons and Dragons. It was a contraction of wow. loot. So woot woot. There you go.
I have used that so many times, and now I know. It's yes, when they create when a
Mhm.
another world
Yep.
creates its own, I don't know what to call it, alternate universe that we get to enter in and out of. And
Mhm.
yes, yeah, we were watching Dwight Schrute's teaching something to, yeah, okay. So,
And
okay, back to the show.
well, and I mentioned I rearranged the office, and I'm really enjoying it. I feel like I had more floor space. It was the same. It was the same. Oh, so Russ Hedge did have surgery. So Maria is checking him. I love the conversations going on together. So
Yes, I
thank you to
knew
all
I
the
had
folks
seen
there.
her before. She's a
Yep.
friend of Russ. Who isn't?
That's right. So, hey, this is
Yes.
the Empty Nest Show. We've got all kinds of stuff. One of the things that I wanted to start out with was actually, you can see over my shoulder here. There's my wife.
Oh,
And I
so
when I
that's a still
rearranged,
picture from something we did.
no. That's live. If you raise your hands,
Oh,
eventually you'll see your hands
eventually,
raised
5, 4, 3,
behind me.
2, 1. Okay, you put a screen behind you. Still not coming up. Oh, okay. Wow. That is a lag time.
Yep.
Interesting. So you can have
hmm
anything going on behind your shoulder that you want, and then you're going to
hmm
get that tilted so that it doesn't
Oh
catch
yeah,
the
it
glare
doesn't
we were
reflect
talking
quite as
about.
bad. But hey,
Yeah.
the first thing I want to talk about, empty nesting,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
that is things that you can do, should do, and writing a book is one of them. This is your second book, the Caregiver Kit. We're talking about pets, and in today's episode, and we get very attached to our pets, and
Uh-huh.
caregivers, it's not just family members. It's
Yes,
it's
and
our four-legged.
that's mentioned in there. Because there are plenty of people, it's almost treated as a joke, um, when I would say when people say, "Well, we're not parents, but we do have doggy kids," or something,
Yes.
we're doggy
Mhm.
parents. And
Yep.
also, it was a joke on another TV show that, they put their parrot into a pet cemetery, and the grieving. And I recall to this moment 20 years, more than 20 years ago, when I
Mhm.
had to bring our first dog to be put out of true misery, just
Mm.
to the point.
Mhm.
I mean, it's you ugh. So I could not speak her name because I would start to answer someone and that name would just stick in my throat. She had been a huge, huge part of my life all the way up to that point, in
Mhm.
the car with me before we had children, well before. And yeah, we know where there's graves are. We still will
Mhm.
I will still see an avenue that has her name as part of the avenue that I
Mhm.
pass on my way when I'm going up to Portland. And it's big deal. So yes, Caregiver Kit is simply a list of ideas of something that you can put into a physical container that
Mhm.
you would reach into on your own terms, because you are feeling the weight of a loss. And that, of course, would be a person. It may be knowing that someone is terminal and you are feeling that, and you've already put something in there ahead of time that
Mhm.
is going to give you an opportunity to grieve fully and grieve well
Mhm.
and and be able to pass through the part or allow yourself to feel all of the sadness that usually you're trying to stuff down because it's just so difficult.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And with your pets, it could be the leash, could be just the dog tag. So for years, I had the in a little drawer in a little box on my desk.
Yes,
I had
you did.
my first dog's dog collar tag, right? The little, yeah, it was just one of those things.
Wow, I'm getting all
it didn't
emotional
look
just
like
thinking
anything.
about that dog tag. Oh,
Oh,
you were glad it was there.
hmm yeah. So I
Mhm.
think the caregiver kit. So it's one of those things that you should do. And another thing, I'm going to highlight this in the carousel, another book actually. And this doesn't have anything to do with pets, but it does have to do with being an empty nester. And so
Mm.
that is the new book that Veronica Jeans and I have just come out with, Freeze in Action in the Face of Business Crisis. So people that have businesses, obviously there are all kinds of crises that happen. Could be the pandemic, could be the loss of a key employee or a lease. So big, small, well, small to other people, but big to you, those crises.
Yes.
So how do you handle them? What do you do? Well, we've got a process. This is a very digestible and actionable book. There's all kinds of stuff, and there's actually a link to video training and worksheets to download that you can fill out for your own business. And so this book has just come out on Amazon.
Both of our
So
books
there you
have to
go.
do with preparing ahead of time for something very unpleasant, which
Mhm.
the natural thing is to just go, I'll deal with it when it happens. Getting ready for something like that is really going to drag me down. Instead, here's a person who goes, we have a plan for that, or maybe assuring other people, your employees, or if you're an aging person, you're assuring the kids and grandkids that care about you,
Mhm.
I have a plan for this with Caregiver Kit, and then assuring the people who are investing in your company, we have, policies, procedures. We've thought about the fact that a long time ago, there was a flood here. Occasionally, of course, power
Mhm.
goes out. We do have a plan. We don't just stand there going, what do we do?
Exactly. And we've got this wonderful introduction by Fred Keeley, our friend.
Yay.
Fred is a author himself, has many books on Amazon, and is a musician. He has been involved in many different things, and he was a friend of Zig Ziglar and is still involved with the organization. So there's a couple of quotes there from Zig himself and Tom Ziglar, his son. And so it
Wow.
was great to have Fred involved with this. Health with an Attitude, Success with an Attitude, and Leadership with an Attitude are all books that were written by Fred. So it's great to have him
And
supporting the book there.
your co-author is Veronica Jeans, the
Mhm.
Shopify queen.
Yes,
And she did not give herself that name.
she
Others
did not.
did. She's the one to go to. She's the queen. She's the guru. She's the whatever. And queen stuck. So,
Mhm.
and she ascended to that throne by hard work, and also, well, she's got a story that goes with that. How she
Oh, yeah.
ended
Mhm.
up there, thinking she was doing this, but she ended up there.
The next item in the carousel is right over your shoulder, and I think that is
I'm
your
thinking it's over that
your
shoulder.
right shoulder.
That one?
There it is. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yay. And I'm kinda covering up a chunk of it. I wonder if I can. Oh, yeah. It's not up on a table. That is
It's
down
not
on
up.
the floor. It's almost as tall as I am. I literally cannot see what's in that top tier. I
Mhm.
mean, up like this and maybe bend the sides over, I can see. But I did put a few cat treats, which are also in the carousel.
Mhm.
Carousel. I did put a few cat treats up there, hoping that Cheeto would
Mhm.
wake up and jump up there. But Cheeto is orange, just your typical, I guess, tabby cat. Not
Mhm.
typical. He's really smart. He knows when we need some
He's our
cat therapy.
he's our therapy cat sometimes. He just says, "Yes, I know you just need somebody to come and snuggle against you." And, there's research that says when you pet your dog and when you pet your cat, there's different, chemicals that are released on your brain that are
Mhm.
healthy for you.
And looking into eyes,
Mhm.
that
Yeah, absolutely.
causes an interaction. So that cat
Yeah.
has been curled up in both spots the last few nights.
Mhm.
And sometimes we put things inside of those little covers. He's really comfortable and warm in this apartment. But I think
Yeah.
if we were gone and we had the heat off, I think we'd come back and find him all curled up in one of those little houses like he used to when he was first exploring it, but now we've
Mhm.
just been keeping things too warm.
Well, the little, cat, condo over your shoulder there, and let me just put it, let's
Good.
just let people take a look at
We
it here.
searched for a while for the ultimate
Yeah.
cat condo.
And Cheeto likes this one because, he can also just kind of, let's get the right one here. Here we go. There we go.
Yeah, that's it.
He sits up on that top, goes right up here on this top, these top little tiers, and he can look out the window because we've got the French door that goes out to the deck, and the deck looks out and has a nice view, and you can see people walking by and people walking their dogs, and
Mhm.
and he just watches the cars go by. Sometimes it's just a he likes sitting up in there. And then when you actually are the one that assembled this, so when it came,
Yep.
you actually did all the assembly.
Yes, it was heavy because it's very, it's sturdy. The
Mhm.
box was heavy, but the individual items were all easy, and I just spread them out, and I thought, "I'm not gonna do them tonight," and the cat's just laying and rolling all over it and
Yeah.
figured out which one was his favorite that he wanted to stay on as I'm putting parts together. This
Mhm.
The directions actually suggest that you do it with someone else, and I did. I asked you to hold one part so that
Mhm.
when I was turning, it wasn't turning at the other end as well. But I I did. I assembled it. It had everything that was needed. I didn't have to have, oh, and just one more tool or anything like that. And we
Nope.
just
Yeah, they had
felt
everything.
sorry for our cat who had always had a backyard and always been able to prowl the neighborhood and wanted him to have something to play on or to have. And he's really adjusted. He doesn't even run out in the hallway because we have our apartment building has the indoor hallways, and
Mhm.
he doesn't even run out anymore. He's just very content to have all of his spots in here. And it doesn't hurt to have our dog here as well because
That's
they
right.
are such buddies.
They are. And, speaking of that, one of the
Mm,
things that, is necessary, or well, there's a pair of things, and one of them is the, dog leash,
mhm. You
and,
wanna start
I
with
like
that one?
this one. Yeah, let's start with the leash, and then we'll talk about the harness, because the leash you can use on a lot of different, collars and so forth, but, so there's
Right,
a lot of
just your standard connector.
yeah, so the connector, and this is, so it you just have a nice handle to hang on to, and then
Yes.
it's spring the dog is connected to it, and as they walk away, they're not just choking themselves.
No, because it's
It actually springs,
springy.
but also
I
when they
guess it
come
is
back closer to
about
you,
15 feet long.
yeah, when they come back closer to you, they don't trip over the cord. It doesn't get caught up in their legs, which is really helpful. And so this
Yes.
is the type of leash that I really like. And then you can actually stop it. You can push the button and it locks so that they don't, if you don't want them to continue stretching out that leash, you can stop it. And it's very easy.
Yes, there's this one section that I will grab onto because, the leash is extended, and then
Mhm,
someone comes around the corner, and maybe they don't like dogs, maybe they have a dog,
mhm.
maybe there's several of them, and we're just kind of not able to share the sidewalk right at that moment with bushes and such on each side. And so I tend to grab this little section, this area expands, and I can just grab onto that because holding on to this little line,
Mhm,
it's a little tough, especially with a straining dog. But hanging on to this part, if I can get to that part, then
mhm.
I can restrain the dog for a moment
Going back.
because of course the dog's pulling on this part. But my husband was talking about this I guess trigger, but what it does is it locks and then releases, locks, releases, and then you lock it and you push this little top thing and it will just stay long. I would
Mhm.
have to admit that that works out when there's nobody around and nothing to get wrapped around like a little tree or a post, and I just want to check my phone. So I can just leave it long and he can go back and forth, nothing to, just
Mhm.
smelling, smelling, smelling. I don't know what it is. I'm always
Absolutely
trying
able
to
to
figure out
investigate
what,
everything.
what. Everything is a smell, every little piece of carpet, because we are in an apartment that allows other animals. So
Mhm.
I'm really glad that I got this. And our son said, "Oh, I don't want our dog to be a harness dog." And I'm
Mm.
going, "So is that dogism? Is that some sort of, well, if it's a harness dog, then it's a bad dog?" Well, our dog just has a really small head. And to just have a collar here means the
Yeah.
choking, the possibility of pulling out, and the harness when it's attached, when this is attached to the harness, the part of the dog that's being pulled on is the middle of the body. So there isn't the choking at all. In fact,
Mhm.
they're kind of, if they're trying to get to something, they're kind of stopped sideways. They can't use
Yeah.
that, their muscles to go forward and kind of almost pull you over. It's like they're there's no way to get really good traction. And it just puts me in better charge of my dog when I'm surprised by someone coming around the corner with a dog.
Yeah, I really appreciate having the harness because it's not pulling on their windpipe like a collar does. It's actually, kind of distributed across the chest.
Mhm.
And, the other thing, and let me just put my wife on the screen here because, um, the harness actually the thing one of the things I like about the harness is the handle on top.
So
And,
helpful.
and you would think, "Oh, this is so I can hold on to the animal and keep them from, oh, rushing somebody or something like that." But here's what the honest truth is, as the dog gets older, they become less mobile, just like we become less mobile. And getting up into the back seat of the car is not as easy for our little dog. And so uh, we can give him a little assist. So you can open up the door and he gets ready. You can just grab the handle and just, he jumps and you give a little pull and the dog is safely in the back seat.
And he
And
can
I
jump
really
back there, but
recommend that.
sometimes he's reluctant. And so
Mhm.
this is just, it's just, and it's happening, bub.
Because
It's
it was so
happening.
sad, he tries to jump into the back seat, but he was a little hesitant, and he didn't quite do it, and what did he do? He tumbled out. I mean, he didn't get hurt, but you
No,
just feel bad for him, so
I think his ego
let's give
was
him an assist.
bruised. So
Yeah.
that's where it attaches. And this is the section that's
Mhm.
around his middle. And that's where it attaches. Then you have this here. And I do tend to
Yeah.
hold on to him when we're coming out of the elevator. Why can't I say elevator? We're about to come out of the
Mhm.
elevator. We have other dogs, but we also have at least one person who right now is using a walker. And I
Mhm.
just, they may be waiting right at the door. And here's, my animal ready to head out. We just don't need any incidents. So there it is, so handy on his back. So I can just hold on. I've got the leash, but now I've got complete control.
Mm-hmm.
This goes around his middle. I tend to snap these after it's on his body. I'm sure that that would be the normal thing to do anyway. So snap one, snap one. Now that he knows that this means he gets to go outside, he has no trouble when I just put this up to his face. He just sticks his nose
Mm-hmm.
right through
Yeah,
there.
and this one just has an elastic around the part that goes, his head goes
Around his
through.
neck.
And so
Mhm.
there's no clips on this one. And
No
so it's
clips.
very easy to get onto him. It seems to be comfortable. And then if he does pull, it does stretch a little bit. So I think it's a better fit. And then to take it
Yeah.
off, we just, while it's around his neck, you can just
Mhm.
show how we flip it inside out. And that way it just slides off his head. So
Yes, I've already disconnected the body section. This is around his neck. And I literally do kind of a flip, a little bit on the sides if I need to. On the bottom, I'm going to do that again. So the inside has that webbing. And so this is up on his back. And I just give it a little flip, a little flip, a little flip while it's actually still on him. And I'm actually looking at him from this side and I go, go. And he just pulls right out. It's so easy and natural. And of course, like any dog, the first thing he does is shakes off. Oh, I'm free. I'm free. Heads for the water.
So a leash and a good harness, really helpful to have. One of the things that we like for the kitty, and you put these you mentioned putting some of these on the cat tree back there, are
Yes, I
treats.
did. Can I just
And
say
I
one
love this
last
one.
thing? This
Oh, yes.
piping, this light piping is actually reflective. And I'm going to suggest to my husband that now that it's winter and we are at the 45th parallel, so if you're in
Mm-hmm.
San Diego, you're not too worried about the winter light. But here it's like you go to work in the dark and you come home in the dark.
Indeed.
So I'm thinking that since I see it on other dogs, that we might add one of those lights that you can just turn on. It's small. You just
Oh, yeah.
turn it
A
on
little biking
and
light. Yeah, we can do a little
yes,
biking light for him.
because I'm 15 feet away from a dark dog. So
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I think that would be a good idea.
I think
Anyway,
that's a great
the
idea.
cat treats.
So we'll show that.
And
Yeah. So we got these little
I'm
cat treats. I
surprised the
love that.
cat's not out
I don't
here.
know. Is that it looks like a bobcat or a wolf or something on there. Doesn't look like a
Yeah.
friendly
How about a
house kitty.
minx? Could it be a minx
I
or a
don't know,
manx?
but
What are they
I think it's a
called?
little bit. It's not as friendly as most cats that you might experience on the thing. But these blue wilderness cat treats have been really great. He really enjoy. There you go. There's the cat. That's a little more.
There's the real cat. Yeah.
There's a little friendly house kitty. But these are we really like them, and
No,
this
we
is
don't.
not
We
a
don't like them. He likes
no,
them.
yeah. Okay. So that's good. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So you can see the ingredients that are in there. This is not intended to be their cat food,
No.
but a reward for them or an enticement. So if you buy the cat tree and you say, "Oh, explore these little spots," you can put some of these little cat treats in there. And I can say that our little kitty really, really likes these things.
Mm-hmm. And the dog would like to get a hold of them. Once in a while, I'll just toss one. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm probably not the ideal pet owner, but yeah, they know they're loved. And I'm really grateful that we found those. We don't have to shop further. However, you still have all of Amazon, so you can try different flavors if you have, I guess, a finicky cat.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
think I
that
think the flavors
container
are more
lasts a
for us.
long time because
Yeah.
you're only giving a few of them.
Yeah.
It's a great way to
And
escape out of the apartment when you first move from a house with a yard and neighborhood, and now the cat is in here. That's his spot. And so we would always put treats over on his tree, his cat
mhm.
condo,
Yes,
and
the
then
cute
we could
condo.
escape out the front door guilt-free.
And a nice place for the dog.
Yes.
This I remember opening this up and the dog immediately just sitting on, I mean, it comes rolled up, and so it's the styrofoam or the styrofoam, the foam, it kind of retains that rolled up shape for a moment. And
Mhm.
even before it flattened out, the dog was putting his paws on it, climbing on, knowing this is my dog bed.
Yes, it's possible that the factory helps the animals to know this is a good place, but I just thought it was so sweet because maybe they had that picture on Amazon, but we had 2 dogs when you got those, and you got 2 of them,
Mhm,
and sure enough, the older dog who really needed a nice place to be,
mhm.
eh, both of them need it, but the older one, it was crucial. Um,
Yeah,
just really enjoyed it. And yes, it didn't take any time at all for it to finally flatten out the foam rubber. But yes, it was I guess, strength of foam rubber, the density of the foam rubber really makes a difference for the dog. And so you could tell it had been packed for a while, so it wanted to stay curled. But the only real problem that we had with that was that
mhm.
the cat would displace. The cat is much
Yes.
more of the alpha than
Mhm.
either of our dogs were, and would displace them, and suddenly the small cat is very large and needs every centimeter in the center of one of these. And so, good thing you had 2 of them because at least 2 of the 3 animals had a
That's
decent
right.
place to be.
So, all different sizes, so small, medium, large, jumbo, and jumbo plus, as well as different colors, so you can find one that matches your house. We like the grays and, light tans because that's some of the colors that we have in the house, but just having a bed, I don't know, we all need our own little place, right? And
Yes.
I didn't want the dog's place to be my bed or the sofa.
Yes, and sometimes you do need to say to the animal to go get in their bed because what's on the table is just smelling so good. And you are a dog owner that will not tolerate a dog even looking like, "Gee, if you would just toss me some." You're just like, "No, go." So at least they have a comfortable place to go
Mhm.
to until we're done eating, and I can sneak them some
Yeah,
treats.
and so yeah, you have to have the tree. You also have to have a little kitty box, little sandbox for them to play in, and etc. Um, I looked at some of those self-cleaning ones, right, where it's got a little motorized scooper basically that automatically moves the poop to a different spot or the clumped
Yeah,
litter
and
to a
I've
different
never
spot.
been in a home that I knew that they had one, so I could ask someone
I
if
looked at
it
them and I
works.
thought about it. They're maybe the right time would come along, but they're over $150 for that.
Oh.
And obviously, you can see this is a much better price. And what it does is, with the lid, it gives the cat a little privacy. It just gives us the privacy from having to see them um, use the box.
Mhm. And
And
and there's only one opening for the cat to exit, so you
mhm,
can control where the crummy toes are going
yes,
to land
yes,
first, And I make sure that they have to spend a little bit of time in a place that's covered. I have
Mhm.
an older towel with
Yep.
raggedy edges that I've got there before the cat comes around and out into the hallway. And I like being able to control that because I just don't need to sweep every day and step on it and ugh.
Reminding everybody you're watching the Empty Nest Show with myself and Christine. We
Yep.
became empty nesters this year. We
Mhm.
sold our house, we moved into an apartment, we downsized, and
Yeah.
we replaced. We got some new furniture. We had to change our life because we went from having a backyard and an indoor outdoor cat uh, to having indoor pets. And so
Mhm.
this show, we're talking about some of the different things that we use to make their lives and our lives more comfortable. And of course, if you have the litter box, you have to have some kitty litter that goes in it. I personally like Arm&
Mhm.
Hammer. Arm& Hammer has just been good forever. Didn't we all grow up using Arm& Hammer
Yes.
baking soda? And and I remember my mother taking the lid off of a box of baking
Yes.
soda and keeping it in the fridge because it helped us absorb odors within our
Mhm.
refrigerator. They do the same thing with kitty litter, and it clumps.
There is kitty litter that is non-clumping. I suppose if all you ever did was dump the whole thing and then pour in fresh, dump the whole thing and pour in fresh.
Mhm.
I can't imagine it. It's clump or forget it.
Yep. So there's a couple of things. We actually put the litter box in the hallway closet. So it's a little slider door. It's the uh, what do we call those? It's not bifolds, but it's a slider door anyway over the closet. And so we have blocked it. Put one of the stones that we got on one of our trips somewhere. It's a very
Yes,
attractive
one
little
of our
block.
vacations when we were not empty nesters, but
Mhm.
we were just us, which
Yeah,
was a lot of years ago.
it was.
So, found this really cool stone that I've never lost and never given away. Lots
Mhm.
of little, stripes going through it, and it's a cool color.
So it blocks the door open so the cat can get in and out of the closet. And then with this Arm and Hammer clumping, odor eliminating, when people come into the apartment, they don't say, "Oh, you've got a cat." And when I come in, I don't say that. My wife has a much more sensitive nose, so if she were to come in and it smelled like kitty litter, uh, she would tell me right away, and we would fix that. But we don't have that. And
No.
another one of the things that we did, we don't do it now, but, we've got an extra bathroom and we've got a bathtub that we don't use very often, and
Mhm.
that's actually a good place. If you have a spare bathroom and you don't use that tub, you can put the litter box in the bathtub because usually you've got an exhaust fan in the bathroom, and what makes better sense than to have the cat use the box in the bathroom where, other things like that are occurring. So,
And I have a different opinion.
yeah,
'Cause
we have it.
I don't want it in there because it's the guest bathroom.
Well,
We
but
did for a short while because we were still
we did.
trying to figure out what we're gonna do. So
I'm
I
just giving
did
you options.
cover the whole bathtub with that raggedy towel
Mhm.
because I definitely didn't want those little crumbs going down the drain. It's not drain worthy.
That's true.
It's not a good idea. And so, I yeah, I redid
So putting
that
your so
idea.
putting your kitty box, your kitty litter box, uh, out of the way. I like the closet is a very handy place because that's where the supplies are stored,
Mhm,
and it's by the front door, so it's easy to just, scoop it into the garbage and take it away, and
mhm.
so, just a little tip Put your
Hey,
kitty litter box in the closet.
did you happen today to put the, we'll call them necessary bags? Did you happen to put
Yes,
the
we'll get
necessary
to those.
bags?
We will get to those.
Okay, I just want to say ahead of time that that's what I use when I'm scooping the cat litter box. And I know that the garbage isn't going out the front door anytime soon, is that I grab one of those necessary bags for the dog and I scoop it into there, tie it off just like I do when I'm walking the dog. And that can go into the garbage that maybe isn't going out today or very early
Mhm.
tomorrow morning because I don't like the odor.
So once again, Amazon Basics has one of the best deals here. Uh, you can see the price is very reasonable, and you get a lot of bags in every roll.
Yes,
These rolls fit in
yes.
a little dispenser clips right onto your leash, the little
Mhm,
take-up leash that we showed earlier. And it's still there in the carousel. So this is one of the best prices on bags that you can get out there. It's
mhm.
about 4 cents per bag, and so using them, as my wife says, to use scoop the kitty box, bag it up, get it out of here. That is a good idea.
I haven't run out of bags yet, and we've been doing this we've been in the apartment for 4 months.
4 months now. Yep.
Yes, so and I've been using it for cat, and I've been using it for dog, and
Hmm.
still not out. Wouldn't hurt to order it, though, when we go
Right.
in for our next order.
Yeah, we'll probably get those added. They don't take up much room. I
Nope.
just like having the bags around. It makes us good citizens. Um,
Yes.
Now, we've gone through a number of different food dishes, from using mixing bowls to
Mhm.
old pots, old soup cooker pots, whatever.
Yes. Once upon
We've
a
used those.
time, I did not buy this on Amazon, but I bought some glassware, and when I took it out of the box, I read it, and it said, "Be careful taking it out of the oven, glassware like you would
Yes.
do at lasagna in, and
Yep.
putting it directly onto a cold surface, it could crack," and I'm like, "Nope, not
Uh,
using this anymore." So, that ended up being one of the water bowls,
that was a water
but
bowl for a while. Bad idea.
but the
Glass.
best is
Yeah.
right there on the screen right now.
Yeah, use stainless steel. It's don't use your kitchenware. Don't use something that's going to tip. Use something that you can wash, that's going to stay clean, and it's just right. Keep your dog's bowl clean, the water bowl clean. They're animals, but they're not. You don't have to treat them like animals.
Well, yeah, I mean, fresh water, in a maybe a porous bowl
Hmm.
with it's getting a little scummy in there, and you're like, "Oh, I don't wanna put that in the dishwasher today," and then how many weeks later, it's like, "Oh, it's really getting bad." But yeah,
This is
the stainless
24% off.
steel,
I mean,
there's
this is
a
a heck of a
yeah.
deal right now. This is one of the Amazon Choice products, and that's cheap. Uh, for something that's going to be quality, I definitely encourage people, click on this one. It's highlighted in the carousel. Uh, 24% off. I mean, there's some deal. This is the third quarter. We're getting into the gift giving season. In fact, we'll have
Yes.
to do a gift. We'll have to do a holiday episode. Um, I would say I would commit to wearing a Santa hat, but I don't know that we have. I think we packed and got rid of a lot of stuff. We may not have an extra Santa hat around.
I haven't unpacked the Christmas stuff yet. It's been so nice to just live intentionally, to purchase items, not to fill up the space, but purchase what we really are going to use and not being so quick to buy a bunch of stuff so that I can put a bunch of stuff on it.
Yeah.
We do still have Santa hats, but I'm going to have to dig through a couple of boxes to find those. However, if you are planning on blessing your grandchildren, if you too are an empty nester and you're planning on blessing your grandchildren with a kitten or a puppy this Christmas, you just imagine what your son or daughter's thinking.
Make sure you get everything that goes
Yeah,
with it.
get all the, the covered box and everything,
Mhm.
so you're not just handing going, they looked so happy. It made good pictures for Christmas. It's like, yes, and for the next 18 years, what? So,
Oh, exactly.
yeah, get them everything, all the good stuff, and let your kids practice being your grandkids practice being responsible for the animals, and don't tell them that I suggested that you bless them, but it is really cute seeing little kids open up a box with a kitten or a
Mhm.
puppy in it. I'm no
The other
help at all.
thing, we have shared this story on Amazon Live before here on the Empty
Mhm.
Nest Show when on a Super Bowl Sunday a couple of years back, you were walking and got bit by a dog. And
Yeah.
having pepper spray with you is a great idea. This is actually the one that I carry, and it's got a
Mhm.
little pocket clip, and it's very handy. I like that one. And then the one that you have is got the little
Mhm.
lanyard for your keychain, and
So
so you
I
can
did
always
not
keep that
have
handy.
this. I did not have any pepper spray that day. I don't know how it would have turned out differently. I was not walking with a dog, and I wasn't even walking on the sidewalk. I was out in the street. So I like that this has a little notch, which is where my finger goes. So when it's in my pocket, I can find that notch and have it ready in my
Mhm.
pocket so that I feel more confident. I start to think, what am I going to do? I can't accidentally squirt myself because there's a cover over the part that you press down on, and that cover has to be opened before you can shove your thumb in there. And so I just like very much. I don't think that I walk the dog without this. I'll walk to the car because it's in the parking structure that's
Mhm.
covered. But I don't want to go walking without this anymore. And it doesn't make me more scared. It makes me think in terms of if I need this, do I know which pocket it is in? Do I remember what I'm going to do? And I never have practiced spraying this, at a post just to see how much comes out, how far it
Mhm.
goes. I think I'm going to do that
Well, I think
because it's not
I
a
know that
use once kind of a thing.
mine's a few years old. Mine's a few
Mm.
years old, and so we should probably drain mine. We'll use it as a little practice, and I'll order another one, and when it comes in, then we'll drain this one. So we just kind of see how far it squirts and
Interesting.
things like
Yeah,
that.
it would be worth
So
exploring
the other
just to see how many uses you can
mm-hmm,
do with that. Yeah.
that's right. Hey, we are winding down this episode of the Empty Nest Show with Christine
I
and
am
me,
losing
Scott D.
my
Scott.
light in here.
Your light is it is getting dark, it's that
Yeah,
time of
you've
year
got the
here in the
evening
Northwest.
sun and I've got the east
Mhm.
side here, and I'm going,
Yep.
"Oh, it's getting so dark. We still haven't ordered another light for me to
Yep.
put
Yep.
maybe up here, something."
We need to
Yeah.
get a little more fill for you. But,
Shopping.
things don't have to be boring when you're empty nesters. And,
Yeah.
we do live here in the Northwest, the home of Columbia Sportswear. And, I'm
Oh,
a big Columbia fan. I was wearing a Columbia flannel shirt yesterday. I was wearing my Columbia jacket earlier today. I was up in
wow.
Portland, and the winds are coming through the gorge, the east wind. It was really, really windy up there. and it is a cold wind, and Columbia Sportswear is designed to stop that wind. You have a beautiful red jacket that you wear when you
Yes.
go out. So that's the one that I put. So there are both men's and women's jackets, different styles. And this right here, this little, it doesn't show really well in this, but it
But
is a
it's
very
very
reflective
shiny.
surface. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it reflects the heat back into you. And
Yes.
I, I can tell you, I have been out in those cold winds
Mm-hmm.
with the Columbia parka, and my legs might be cold because I don't have that on my legs. My hands might be cold because I'm not wearing gloves, but my body, the core is
Mm-hmm.
completely protected by Columbia. So if you're going to be out this winter walking the dog or just walking for exercise, which is something that I do, I've been doing it. I've been trying to be more accountable to the folks about
Yes.
walking every day,
I'm
trying to get 2 miles.
I'm very happy for you that we have beautiful areas to walk in here.
Hmm.
Any direction, even just walking the streets of the downtown, which we're right next to, and it's, 100-year-old buildings.
Hmm.
And we've had some pretty good wind coming because we're on the Willamette River. We've
Yep,
had some pretty good north stiff winds coming through. We see these little baby trees because this whole area is just newly
all
built,
brand new.
and they're all going one direction. And I'm really glad that you're staying warm. I know you really like your new shirt.
Hmm.
It's just
Yep.
I'm anxious for you to get a few more, not
Yeah,
because
I think.
I'm bored with the green one, but you enjoy it so much. And
Yeah.
honestly, plaid is totally, totally in.
Yeah,
I don't
plaid
know that it's
flannel.
going to go
I'll have
out.
to throw those in the carrier. So we'll do when we do the gift guide show,
Oh,
we'll make sure
very
and get some
good.
more Columbia stuff in there. They make great gifts. They're very well constructed, good materials, good sewing. You're not having to worry about the seams coming undone because they were cheap on their thread or quick on their process.
Yeah,
Just
buy
good
it for
stuff. I love
quality
Columbia.
and buy it for longevity.
Absolutely. And
Yay.
so flannel's not going to go out. Plaid flannel's not going to go out of style. I just, you know,
I don't think so.
sometimes it gets
I
more
don't
in
think
style,
so.
like a Seattle grunge look back in the day. But anyway,
Mm,
uh, that's where I just wanted to end. This has been the Empty Nest show here on
yes.
Amazon Live, and we thank our friends that have watched and commented. We just really enjoy the interactions, and we are Rusty recovery. I know they're around the world who are praying for him. And
Yes.
with that,
We
as
only
always,
have
I
one
am going to
more
jump out
show.
and give the last words.
Oh, I was going to talk to
But
you.
this month,
We only, yeah, no, well, no, we
oh,
only have one more Tuesday empty nest show before
mm-hmm,
Thanksgiving Day. And I just wanted to let people know that one thing that we've noticed being empty nesters means that there's other nests going on. And
mm-hmm,
so we just had Fakesgiving
mm-hmm,
with part of our family. So, Fakesgiving in the Smith realm happens whenever everybody doesn't have a rehearsal, a practice, work schedule, commitment, church, and it's like, whew, found a spot. Usually involves something football on TV, and that is Fakesgiving. We did have stuffing. I
mm-hmm.
made mashed potatoes that I'm very proud of.
They
Thank
were
you,
good
honey, for
indeed.
getting the bacon ready to go into
Mhm.
the
Doing my part.
loaded mashed potatoes. So, chopped real bacon that was done. So, most of the fat was drained off and in our Foodie Ninja air fryer. And then it involved heavy whipping cream. So we're not talking, diet potatoes. So, and, shredded 2 kinds of different cheeses and those gold, sometimes they're called Yukon, sometimes they're Klondike, whatever, the gold potatoes.
Golden potatoes.
I don't even take the skins off. I
Don't
just
need to.
chop them,
Yeah.
put them in there. Maybe you can chop them smaller if you don't want the big skin, but I don't even mind some chunks of potato in with the mash. It just does not need to be pureed for me. So I wanted to talk to you. You're talking about your flannel warm shirt and that this is our first, we have now had our first fakes giving in our empty nest, which included real cranberries cooked on the stove. It's super simple. Water, sugar, cranberries, keep stirring. Oh my goodness, for years, canned whole cranberries, which the stores would run out of. They would still have the gel, but I wanted the cranberries. So not
Get
this
your
year. We got
cranberries,
bags
put them
of
in the
them.
freezer so that when Thanksgiving comes, you won't run out. So we've got a couple of bags just waiting for Thanksgiving and Christmas. So buy them now. Buy the fresh ones. They freeze well. They'll cook great. Hey, I'm going to jump out and let you, Christine, wind up our show. Last words. You always get the last word.
I know, but I have to think of some last words. I always have something to say. I'm thinking about that cat condo behind me. Let's see if I can move again and make it a little more visible. There we go. So the cat condo, I have no regrets, not one regret about getting that. I thought I even got catnip, which I've never used with our cat. Our animals are 8 years old, both of them. And I even sprinkled that on it thinking, oh, now he'll like it. Well, he just goes up there. And I put the cat food on one of the sturdy shelves out of reach of the dog so the cat can be up there crunching away. Downstairs on the bottom, I have the water bowl that you saw earlier with the flat, the underside, not glass, not something porous that gets gross and you are kind of ashamed. And then the dog food, slightly smaller bowl. So they both can get to the water because it's low, but it's larger. And I just have it all set up in there. I even use the little hammock at the bottom to put that container of little cat treats just down there where nobody even sees it, but I can grab it at a moment's notice because for some reason, our cat is not a hammock cat. We used to have hammocks at home and he always would want to try to jump in one with us. But things are different now because it's just us. We're here in the nest. We get visitors and we still cook, but not like we used to. Things are different now. And we're making sure that we purchase the things that we are really using, really want, really need in a smaller apartment that we even want to carry down the hallway. So Amazon's been great for all those things. And we had fun shopping for that cat condo. It was awesome. We still don't know which one of us thought of it first. I say he did. He says I did. But it turned out great because you can just shop when you're sitting out on the deck. You can just shop when you're talking about it in the car and get it done and get it on its way. So I'm grateful to Amazon that as empty nesters, we can write books and purchase things that will make our new place comfortable, but also that they allow us to have this show together. Bye.